Hello children and welcome to today's session. So today I will be talking about something that we keep hearing the whole day. Yes, I am talking about what is coming out of my mouth. Something comes out of mama's mouth also when she calls you and you hear her, and then you quickly get up and you rush to her. Something comes to your ears when you hear your little pet barking. Then you know that it is time for you to take your pet for a walk. What is this that we keep hearing? All this is called sound, and we are going to learn about sound in detail in this chapter. So what is sound? Sound is basically something that you hear all around you. This sound can be as sweet as the chirping of morning birds, and it can be as loud as music blaring in banquet halls at night when you're wanting to sleep. So sound can be loud, sound can be soft. But how does sound travel? How is sound produced? How does sound reach our ears? This is what we are going to learn in the chapter today. So let us first define sound. Now sound, again, like heat and light, is a form of energy, and sound travels in the form of waves. How does light travel? I hope you remember it. Light travels in a straight line. And how does heat travel? Heat travels through convection, conduction, and radiation. So out of all these three, sound travels in the form of waves. Now we hear sound when these waves strike our eardrum. But how is sound produced? In different things, there are different ways in which sound is produced. So first, for example, when the bees buzz, what is that buzzing sound? वो buzzing sound कहाँ से आता है? It comes when the bees rub their wings together. That creates a vibration sound, which is the buzzing of the bee. Then, in case of a sitar or a veena, when you play the strings of sitar or veena, sound is produced. Again, how is the sound of our voice produced? It is produced by the vibrations which are produced in our neck. If you touch it while speaking, you will hear that there is a voice box here that continuously produces vibrations while you are talking. The sound of drum or tabla is produced when you put pressure on the skin of the drum or the tabla. The sound of a flute is produced when you control the passing air across the flute with the help of your fingers. Sound in case of a school bell कैसे produce होता है? By hammering an iron plate. Sound of radio and television is produced just like the sound here. It is produced by the vibration of a thin diaphragm that is fitted inside the television or the radio. Next, we are going to learn how sound travels. मेरी आवाज़ आप तक आ कैसे रही है, और इसको समझने के लिए हम देखते हैं एक वीडियो. Sound cannot travel in vacuum. It needs a medium to travel. वैक्यूम का क्या मतलब होता है? वैक्यूम का मतलब एक ऐसी जगह जहाँ पे कुछ एग्जिस्ट नहीं करता, न सॉलिड, न लिक्विड, न गैस. Sound needs a medium to travel. और मीडियम कौन सा होता है? We have understood that there are only three states of matter: solid, liquid, and gas. So in order to travel, now let us understand one by one how sound travels through these three mediums. So first example that we are going to take is of solid. We have placed a ticking alarm clock on a table, और दूसरे एंड पे हमने कान रखकर उसको सुनने की कोशिश की. So we will see that through the table also we will be able to hear clear ticking of the alarm clock. Sound travels faster in solids. Now let us understand how sounds travels through liquids. इस केस में we have taken a bucket full of water and then we have taken a squeaky toy, और उसको हमने प्लास्टिक में रैप करके बकेट के अंदर डाल दिया है. When we make noise with that squeaky toy, we obviously can hear it. बट अगर हम अपना कान उस बकेट के पास लाकर सुनते हैं, we will see that the squeaking will be louder in this case जब हम bucket के पास आकर सुन रहे हैं. This is because when sound travels through liquid, it becomes louder. अब बात करते हैं air की. We all know that we all can hear an aeroplane flying high up in the sky. We can hear it. We can also hear the firecrackers that go high up in the air and burst. So this is how sound travels across solids, liquids and gases. We hear sound with the help of our ears. हमारे कान सिर्फ साउंड सुन नहीं सकते, वो ये भी आइडेंटिफाई कर लेते हैं कि आवाज़ किसकी है, मम्मी की, पापा की, नाना की, नानी की, दादा की या दादी की. This is because our ears have a very sensitive eardrum which is present in the inner ear. इस eardrum पे जब sound पड़ता है, that sound produces vibration. Nerves यहाँ से ये sound vibrations carry करके brain तक लेके जाती हैं. The brain understands that this is the message that is being conveyed to us and it tells us to act accordingly. So this is how our ears interpret sound. We have learned what sound is, we have learned how sound travels. Now let us understand more in detail about how sound travels. So in order to understand this, we need to know कि जैसे टाइम को सेकंड में मेजर किया जाता है, स्पीड को किलोमीटर पर आवर में मेजर किया जाता है, उसी तरह द 3 बेसिक क्वांटिटीज जो वेव्स, साउंड वेव्स को कैरेक्टराइज करती हैं, दीज आर फ्रीक्वेंसी, एम्पलीट्यूड एंड स्पीड. और ये तीनों चीज़ें हम कैसे समझेंगे? वी विल अंडरस्टैंड दिस विद द हेल्प ऑफ एन ऑसिलेटिंग बॉब. एक पेंडुलम बनाने का तरीका बहुत सिंपल है. एज वी विल सी हियर, पेंडुलम बनाने के लिए एक बॉब को एक स्ट्रिंग के साथ हैंग कर दिया जाता है एंड इट इज अलाउड टू मूव फ्रीली. So as you can see in this picture, the center where the bob comes when it is at rest is labeled O. और उधर की तरफ जहाँ वो maximum जा सकता है, which is its extreme position, is C. Similarly, on this side, the extreme position has been labeled B. The time period that a bob takes from moving from O to B to C and then back to O becomes its time period or the amplitude. The distance that the bob completes from one side to another to the extreme position is known as amplitude, and the time that it takes to complete this entire oscillation is known as time period. And frequency is what tells us how loud the sound is going to be. Now, there are certain other criteria of sound. For example, what makes a sound loud or soft? This is characterized by pitch. Pitch is characterized by the amplitude of sound waves. As we can see here, in case the voice is high pitched, it produces a shrill voice. And in case a voice is low pitched, it produces a deep tone. It is generally believed that women have a shriller voice because their voice is high pitched, and men have a low pitched tone. That is why they have a deep tone. So here we have learned about the different characteristics of sound. Now we are going to understand through another video about certain instruments that make sound. We are going to understand in detail what is the methodology with which they produce sound. Pleasant sound is produced by playing various musical instruments. So in case of sitar, guitar and veena, these are all string instruments. इसमें strings को हिला के sound produce किया जाता है. इनके अंदर का जो hollow area होता है, that allows for loudness of the sound. In case of flute, bugle and shehnai, the noise is produced by the air column. इन तीनों instruments के अंदर हम air blow करते हैं. These are called wind instruments and we can control the air with the help of our fingers. The next set of instruments are drum, tabla and mridangam. In these instruments, there is a vibrating skin that produces sound. We can again control the sound with the help of our hands. The last set of instruments are the mouth organ and the harmonium. These are called reed instruments. These have a reed inside them which produces sound. Now the speed of sound. Sound travels faster in denser medium. जैसा कि हमने पढ़ा था solids के अंदर sound सबसे जल्दी travel करता है. And sound travels faster in water than in air. आपने कभी कभी नोट किया होगा कि जब फायर क्रैकर्स बर्स्ट करते हैं तो पहले हमें वो दिखता है. इट इज़ अ फ्रैक्शन ऑफ अ सेकेंड लेट दैट वी आर एबल टू हियर द साउंड. दिस इज बिकॉज light travels faster than sound. Now the reflection of sound, just like the reflection of light, comes back to us, and this happens more in open spaces. कभी किसी मॉन्यूमेंट के अंदर जाके जब हम जोर की आवाज़ लगाते हैं तो हमें अपनी आवाज़ की एको सुनाई देती है. This is reflection of sound. Now let us understand about noise pollution. Noise pollution is a very, very dangerous thing. Just like other forms of pollution, noise pollution is also becoming a health hazard. Noise pollution क्या होता है? जब noise unpleasant हो जाती है, हमारे ear drums को hurt करती है, then it becomes noise and it is called noise pollution. Decibel rating दी जाती है कुछ कॉमन साउंड्स को. हमारे ईयर्स कुछ सर्टेन डेसिबल साउंड ही अब्जॉर्ब कर सकते हैं. सर्टेन अदर साउंड्स which are higher than that range are known as noise. Now this noise can be in the form of firecrackers, heavy vehicles, or they can also be, in case of people who are living near the airports, the taking and landing of aircrafts, rockets, etc. can also become a source of noise pollution. नॉइज़ पोल्यूशन किसको सबसे ज़्यादा इफ़ेक्ट करती है? बच्चों को, ओल्डर पीपल को और पेट्स को, जिनके ईयर्स बहुत ज़्यादा सेंसिटिव होते हैं. नॉइज़ पोल्यूशन कैन इवन लीड टू मेंटल रिटार्डेशन इफ़ अ पर्सन इज सब्जेक्टेड कंटिन्यूअसली टू इट, because it leads to heavy vibrations going inside the brain which can create a lot of problem. So children, in this chapter you have learned what is sound, you have learned how sound travels, you have learned the mediums through which sound travels, you have learned the different characteristics of sound and about noise pollution. Thank you.